What's up, guys? Today is going to be lesson 10.6, and that is called segment length in circles. Let me draw a circle real quick. Alright, let's say we have a circle like this. Oh, wait a minute, I have one too many A's. Erase this and make that a D. There we go. Alright, so EA, so we're looking at this segment here. This is not like yesterday's work where we have two lines and a crossing on the inside, so we add and divide by 2. This is different because we're not going to give arc length. We're only going to be working with the segments. How long are each segment? So I want to work with this big segment first. I'm going to break it into pieces. EA times EB is equal to, this EA is the smaller one, so I'm going to put the smaller one here first, which would be, it doesn't really matter actually, so I'm just going to put EC times ED. That is the rule for finding out the lengths of these segments. So let's make this a little complicated. Let's put X right here. Let's put X plus 5 right there. We'll call this one AE, we'll call it X plus 3. And we'll call EB X plus 1. And I want to figure out, well, how long is each segment? How long is EA? How long is EC? And so forth. So we're going to do this formula right here and work it out with algebra. So EA is X plus 3. X plus 3 and then multiply EB, and EB is X plus 1 as equal to EC. EC is X times ED, which would be X plus 5. Now right here's FOIL method. We did it earlier. X times X, X squared. X times 1, 1X. 3 times X, 3X. And 3 times 1 is 3. I'm going to fix this real quick, because 1 plus 3 is 4, so it's really X squared plus 4X plus 3 equals, well, X times X is X squared, and X times 5 is 5X. Now we can work on the algebra part. We have X squareds on both sides, which is fantastic. So they're going to cancel out. And we are left with 4X plus 3 equals 5X. Remember, the whole point of this is to get X by itself. And here is my X all by itself. So I'm going to subtract 4X. 5X minus 4X is 1X, which is X. X is 3. Now I'm going to come back over here and plug it back in, because X is 3. Alright, so let's say I want to figure out how long is, right here, CD. So I'm going to do, since I know X is 3, I want to put a 3 right here. Change that with a 3. And that's 3. 3 plus 5 is 8, so this is really 8. And all of this from D all the way to C is 8 plus 3, so that would be 11. So that would be 11. Over here, let's make sure. X is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6, so this is 6. And this is 3 plus 1 is 4. And 6 plus 4 is 10. So then AB would be 10. Now, keep in mind here, we're saying that they are equal, but this equal is just how to solve each piece. We're not saying the whole length is equal. We're not saying AB equals CD, alright? So don't get all freaked out. So there's the answer to that. So let's go to the next type of circle you might. Alright, so in this one, we're having the two lines intersect on the outside. So we would subtract if we were doing yesterday's work if we were giving the arc length, but today we're not. We're working with just with the little segments. So when they're on the outside, it's pretty much the same way. You're going to get the small piece EA times, this is where it gets real funky. You get the small one times the big one, all of it, times EB. That's equal to the small one EC times the big one, which would be E to D. So let's do a question that's going to help do that. So then let's say that this is 6, that's 5, that's 4, and we'll call this X. Right? So EA is 6. 6 times EB. Now from E all the way to B, there would be 6 plus 4 would be 10. 6 times 10 would give you 60. Now EC. EC is 5 times ED. Now from E all the way to D, that is 5 plus some number X. Do I know that number? No. So 5 plus X. Alright? Remember that ED goes from E all the way to D. We have to add these two numbers, 5 and X. So we distribute 5 times 5 is 25, and 5 times X is 5X. Subtract 25, because you want to get X by itself. Give you 35, divide by 5, and X is 7. So this is 7. That's 7. X is 7. Not too bad. Now we're going to do another one that's very similar to this. Well, you'll see when I draw the picture. Hold on. Alright, so this picture. EA, it doesn't have the rest of the part going all the way through. Alright, this is very important. This is very different. So EA, the piece that's by itself, you square it, and that is equal to EC, the small one, times ED, the big one. Right? So let's put the numbers so we can try a question. Let's say that EA is 14. Let's say that's X, and we'll put this to be 12. Now we're going to have some real fun doing math now. Alright, so EA is 14. It says to square it. Then EC is X times ED. And from E all the way to D is X plus 12. X plus 12. X plus 12. X times X is X squared, and X times 12 is a positive 12X. And then 14 squared is 196. Now, this is really getting confusing for you all. I'm going to move the 196 over here. It's going to look like this. X squared plus 12X minus 196. Now, we need to solve this, which is going to take quite a bit of time. X squared plus 12X minus 196. We need to factor it pretty much. And if you're taking Algebra 2, you can try to factor it on its own. But you're going to see that it can't be factored. And I'm not going to show you the cheat or shortcut method. I'm only going to show my regular classes that. So you need to learn how to do it using my favorite formula. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all that divided by 2a. That is the quadratic formula. There's a 1 there. This is a, so a is 1, b is 12, and c is negative 196. And you plug the numbers in. Put a negative sign. b is 12. Plus or minus, I'll go over this later. Square root. So we get b, and you square it. b is 12 squared minus 4 times my a is 1, times my c, and c is negative 196. All of that divided by 2 times a, which is 1. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. It's still negative 12 plus or minus. I'm going to clean this part up right here. 12 squared is 144 minus. Well, actually, no, wait. Erase that minus. Make life a little easy. Now, this is what I would do if I were you. I would put this in the calculator exactly the way it's right there. Negative 4 parentheses 1 parentheses negative 196. Alright? You put that in the calculator and it makes life semi-easy for you. And this blue part right here, put in the calculator, gives you a positive 784. So I'm going to go back and divide it by 2 times 1 is 2. And we'll keep on going. So I'm going to work over here. So I'm going to write it again. Negative 12 plus or minus the square root. And I'm going to fix this over here. 144 plus 784 is 928. This is 928 divided by 2. Now, this right here, if you put it in the calculator, it gives you 30.4. This part does right here. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to make you simplify it perfectly, which they do in Algebra 2 and Pre-Calc and Calculus. I just haven't decided yet. Alright, so this is going to end up being negative 12 plus or minus 4 square root of 58 divided by 2. And you see how negative 12, 2, and 4 are all divisible by 2? So I'm just going to divide each one by 2, which gives me negative 6 plus or minus 2 square root of 58. Right? And now this sign right here. It means you have two answers. It means you have negative 6 plus 2 square root of 58. Put that on the calculator. And it means you have a negative 6 minus 2 square root of 58. You put them in the calculator. One of the answers is positive, one's negative. You put in the calculator, this gives you 9.23, and this one gives you negative 21.23. Now, we're working with, the whole part of this, remember, was to find this little dumb x right here. And it can't be negative. You can't have a negative distance here, so it's going to be the positive answer, which is 9.23. So that's what x is. X equals 9.23. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to make you learn how to do this part here. I'm just going to make you turn this to a decimal, which still gives you the right answer. Yeah, I'll be nice. Sure, why not? As long as the world isn't in, we're all good. Alright guys, laters.